Good evening, everybody. I'm Kempson Cross alongside Cole Johnson. It's time for Spartan Live football on MCAT. Good to see you for the first time in a month. Class AA Montana High School football action coming at you. Missoula Sentinel Spartans hosting the Kalispell Flathead Braves. Now, the Spartans here on senior night and future Spartans night have already exercised some past playoff tiebreaker demons, and at 5-4 have already clinched a playoff spot. And the key word since August for this team has, Cole, been finish.
Yeah, Sentinel's got to finish tonight, and they got to win this game tonight because they have to get a better seed from where they're at now. They can clinch up to potentially the 5 seed right now. They're in the playoffs, we know that much, but they have to have their A game tonight. They have to play like it's a playoff game. You should always focus on every game being a playoff game. Everybody knows that. But coming down to the end of the year, they need to finish strong so they can get some momentum going into the playoffs. That's what they need. So Dane Oliver's going to be preaching that. He did it in the film room this week. It's important to get your kids mentally focused and get this W and move on.
Flathead, meanwhile, comes in at 3-6. No playoffs for them this year. They made it last year, and part of the journey for them was a 28-14 defeat in last year's regular season finale, or I should say 28-14 victory over these Spartans. That was in Kalispell, and here tonight at Missoula County Stadium, the Spartans will be looking to get the W and get a little revenge.
Yeah, Kyle Sampson, the team didn't make the playoffs this year, so it's kind of playing for pride at this point, but in these types of games, you can kind of pull out all the stops. It's like, okay, let's get an upset here. Let's build on next year. This Sentinel's in the playoffs already. Kalispell's not, but anytime you can play the spoiler and you have the opportunity to do so, you're a little bit more flexible. And I think that Sentinel's going to have to be ready for that. So look for Kalispell to, just pull out maybe some trick plays. Deep pass plays down the sidelines in the middle of the field. They're going to try some things tonight. I'm sure they will. So Dane Oliver's got to have his defense ready. You got to be focused on what you're doing. Keep the ball in front of you. Stay on your man and win the one-on-ones. And Sentinel, I believe, will win this game.
Started this season on Spartan Live on a hot August evening in Washington Grizzly Stadium. Here tonight at Missoula County Stadium, we have Sentinel hosting Flathead on a cool autumn evening. This is Spartan Live football on MCAT. We welcome you once again to Missoula County Stadium. Kempson Cross alongside Cole Johnson for the Missoula Sentinel Spartans hosting the Flathead Braves. AA Montana High School football action here tonight. And the Spartans at 5-4 have already clinched a playoff position. The Flathead Braves will not make the playoffs at 3-6. And as you've just seen in our pregame, I expect we're going to run through some starting lineups here as they go about the coin toss and other pregame festivities, finish those up. So Cole Johnson will have those for you.
For the Kalispell Braves, John Hinchy is your wide receiver. Seth Adolph is your starting running back. Trey Vasquez playing defensive back. Bridger Johnson's your quarterback. Cade White playing defensive back. Jaden McNeil, another defensive back. Cade Quinn, defensive back. Jaquez Eve, linebacker. Andrew Siderius is one of the defensive tackles. Logan Thurston, Hunter Waters, Hunter Welcome, Jacob Serrano, Daniel Long, Michael Lee, Tanner Troutman are on the offensive line. Brian Baker is the starting wide receiver. And the starting tight end for Kalispell is Austin DeMars. So that kind of rounds out the offense and the defense. Some of those players, as I mentioned, are playing both ways, too. They're playing offense and defense. So Kalispell had a chance to make the playoffs, but they lost by 10 to Capitol High last week and kind of dashed the playoff hopes for them.
Yeah, Capitol, one of those teams, maybe the hottest team in the state right now, 5-4 after a 1-4 start that included just a forfeit win over Missoula Hellgate and playing some of the top teams in the state during the first half of the year. You also have the Sentinel starting lineups for us here as well.
Spencer Schock is the starting left tackle and defensive tackle as well. Connor Rockhorst is playing left guard. Weston Gibbs is the center. Ryan Finley, the senior, number 69. James Thomas is playing right tackle. Nick Germer, good wide receiver for Sentinel. Mitch Roberts is the quarterback. Jason Shustari, one of the slot receivers. Ethan Jones, the tight end. Connor Crawford, we see what he can do, complemented by Elias DeWaters, who has also had a tremendous year. He's only a sophomore, so we'll be seeing him more often for sure. Trevor Duvall is number 47, one of the captains for the Spartans, and Caden Messer will be kicking the field goals, and Brandon Morley is the punter, who also plays linebacker. On defense, Ethan Jones playing defensive end, Caden Messer, outside linebacker. Again, a lot of these guys play both ways, as we mentioned. Connor Rockhorse, the defensive end. Spencer Schock is the starting linebacker. Tristan Clark is your inside linebacker. Brandon Morley playing linebacker. Danny McKittrick, the senior number 2, playing the left cornerback. Safety is Matt Messerly. And the safety for Missoula Sentinel is the junior Justin Campbell. Brian Jakubowski is your right cornerback. A lot of good pieces in place on defense. Rockhorst and Spencer Schock and Danny McKittrick will be gone along with Matt Messerly next year. They'll be graduating. Ethan Jones, he'll be tough to lose as well. And, of course, Mitch Roberts, the QB, will be playing wide receiver for the Montana Grizzlies.
Looks like Sentinel deferred on that coin toss. And, yeah, those are your starting lineups for here tonight on senior night. You saw the seniors lined up on the hash marks, the far hash marks for Sentinel on the Spartan side. And we'll just rifle through those seniors just to get them all out there in numerical order. Number 2, Danny McKittrick. Number 3, Mitch Roberts. Number 6, Hunter Paulson. Number 7, Ezra Wida. Number 14, Ethan Jones. Number 17, Matt Messerly. Number 23, Peyton Child. Number 28, Connor Crawford. Number 30, Tristan Clark. Number 44, Connor Rockhorst, also wears jersey number 76 now, actually. Number 47, Trevor Duvall. Number 52, Spencer Schock. Number 54, Taryn Buchanan. Number 69, Ryan Finley. Number 74, Kenyon Kinsella. Number 75, Weston Gibbs. Number 77, Mason Keller. And I believe those are all the seniors on this Sentinel High football team. Sentinel deferred, so Kalispell Flathead will get the ball first.
Yeah, we won't see Ryan Skramovsky in this game. He's been the primary running back. We'll see more of Seth Adolph today, and Bridger Johnson, the QB for Kalispell, who had a win against Butte a couple weeks ago, 14-7.
Caden Messer puts his foot into it. That's Seth Adolph at the 14-yard line. And Sentinel's able to corral him at the 23.
Good coverage.
Maybe the 24-yard line. That's where Flathead will take over. 1st and 10 to start the game.
Yeah, good coverage. Tanner Stack able to make the tackle on the play as Seth Adolph was able to get it out to the 24, and that's where the offense will kick this thing off.
Bridger Johnson with a running back to his left and directly behind him. And he'll hand it to Seth Adolph coming to the near side. And Sentinel is able to eventually get him out of bounds, but he picks up a decent chunk of yardage.
Nice job by Seth Adolph. Actually, it looked like he was only going to pick up 2 yards, but was able to kind of stutter step his way down the sideline and get every little bit that you can. He actually picked up 6 yards on that play. Pretty impressive.
Officially 7, 2nd down and 3 at the 31-yard line. Just underway here. Bridger Johnson from the shotgun now. Throws over far side and at the sticks and across the 35-yard line with 1st down yardage for the Braves is James Flanagan, a senior for Flathead.
And Danny McKittrick on the tackle there. It's just I think that you're just giving him too much room to work there. And I think with McKittrick, because of his size, it's harder for him to cover the wideouts. So he's giving the receivers some room to operate, which necessarily isn't a bad thing, but see if he plays up on his receiver a little bit more.
Bridger Johnson. Handoff and breaking free all the way across midfield down to the 46 of Sentinel, already into the Spartans' territory.
I think that was Cade Quinn.
It was indeed Cade Quinn. I saw 28 at first, but it was 23.
I think gap assignments are real important for Sentinel. I think that's when you've seen them give up the big plays, is when they're just not on their gap assignments. We saw an 80-yard touchdown run by Drew Turner last month that there was no one that touched him.
Now a handoff to Adolph, and that's what it looks like when Sentinel gets it right. Caden Messer able to wrap him up for no gain.
Yeah, caught him from behind, able to run him down. Very short gain.
Lost a yard.
Yeah.
47-yard line. It'll be second down and 11 for Bridger Johnson and the Braves offense. Inside 10 minutes to go. Opening drive here for Flathead. They just, a couple of plays ago, got into Sentinel territory.
Yeah, Flathead wants to win just as much as Sentinel does, you know, and off to a good start in this game, using some clock as well.
Bridger Johnson rolling to the far side as a receiver at the sticks. A 12-yard gain and a first down. That is James Flanagan once again.
Nice route. James Flanagan just goes out to the outside, finds where he needs to be, doesn't go out of bounds, and keeps his feet in, and a good play call there by the coaching staff of Kalispell on a rollout pass and first down for Bridger Johnson and Kalispell.
First down and 10 at the 35-yard line of Sentinel. Still the opening drive here. And that was Skromovsky, number 28, on that carry a few plays ago. So a correction on our part. And now a timeout taken by Flathead with 9:34 to go in the opening quarter and no score. This is Spartan Life Football on MCAT. .9:34 to go in the opening quarter. Still no score. Bridger Johnson and the Flathead Braves offense driving on the Sentinel Spartans defense. Kempson cross alongside Cole Johnson out of the timeout. Johnson to the near side. Bridger Johnson and overthrows his receiver and took a hit while doing it. Danny McKittrick was in the area. He was looking for Flanagan again.
Caden Messer, good stick. Kind of forced Johnson to throw it quicker than he wanted to. Ryan Skromovsky is playing in this game, number 28, by the way. He's there. He's out there. And he's ready.
Ryan Skromovsky, the 5'11", 180-pound senior. Right next to Bridger Johnson, takes the handoff. Sentinel submarines him, and he's well in the backfield. Might be a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, good tackle, gang tackle there by the Spartan defense. They were ready for that one. Skromovsky nowhere to go. Just 3 Spartan players all around him on that play. Took him down. Loss of yardage.
So out of the timeout, Flathead has gone backwards to a 3rd down and 13. They had the incomplete pass and then a negative 3-yard run for a 3rd down and long. Bridger Johnson looking. Sentinel pass rush will get there. The sack by Ezra Wida.
Ezra Wida coming through along with Caden Messer as well. Wida got there first and just dropped him for a loss. Good pursuit. They weren't in field goal range to really begin with, but 3rd and 13, you get a sack to make it 4th and 20. You get the ball back, so a good hold by the Spartan defense.
And the first time we'll see the punt unit for the Flathead Braves after a promising drive comes up short. It'll be 4th down and 22. And it is away. Elias DeWaters back and comes up, did not make a fair catch, and was tackled immediately just across the 15-yard line. The punt was off the foot of number 53, Wesley Palmer. So Sentinel and Mitch Roberts will take over for the first time, the senior dual threat quarterback, with Connor Crawford, another senior, right behind him. Play action to Crawford. Throw up the far sideline. Nick Germer's got it. And he's all the way down to about the 40-yard line of Flathead. What a way to start.
There you go. Gain of it's going to be 33 and 10. That's 43-yard pass completion right off the bat. You go deep and you catch him off guard. Nick Germer, sure hands, beat his man, and a huge gainer on that play. So a 43-yard pass play. Nice job, nice play call early on, and Sentinel in the hurry up.
Sentinel not messing around. First down at the 40. And a throw over to Germer on the far side. And he's knocked out of bounds, but not before he gets 5 yards.
There you go, Nick Germer. Once again, getting involved early. He's got 50 yards receiving about.
Mitch Roberts with an empty backfield once again. It'll be 2nd down and 4 after a 6-yard gain. And a throw back over to the far side, trying to keep the momentum going. All 3 of Missoula Sentinel's plays have gone to that side. This time, incomplete.
Yeah, looking for Germer again, number 22. And it was kind of a quick hitch, and the throw was just kind of offline there. Incomplete pass.
Germer, according to Max Preps, is averaging almost 68 yards a game, 6 touchdowns on the year. And now a handoff to Crawford, who is near the sticks. Depends on the spot on a 3rd down and 4.
Mason Chapman able to finish off the tackle for Flathead, but it's going to be a first.
Got just enough, did Crawford. It'll be 1st down at the 30, and that's what they needed. Now a handoff on a jet sweep to Elias DeWaters. Still fighting through tackles. Another 1st down. Sentinel. They're in the red zone.
And nice sweep there to DeWaters. He's got a lot of speed. He's shifty. He can make plays. Kenyon Fretwell was able to make the first hit initially, but DeWaters is just so explosive, able to pick up 11 yards on that one.
1st down and 10 at the 18-yard line. Wildcat quarterback. Seen Caden Messer do this a couple times, and he's all the way down near the 10-yard line. So 8 yards, 2nd down and 2 upcoming.
Yeah, Sentinel moving it fast on them. You got Messer taking it out in the Wildcat formation, and we've seen him do that so many times where he's just going to take it up the middle and run. Good push by the offensive line for the Spartans, and that's the reason they have the ball at the 10-yard line.
2nd down and 2. Roberts shotgun. Handoff to Crawford. No, he keeps it, and it is read well. Nice open field tackle.
Yeah, that was a great tackle by Tucker Nadeau, able to catch Roberts from behind. Only a short gain. Actually, probably didn't get anything out of that. 3rd and 2. 3rd and a yard and a half.
Got about a yard, so good job falling forward there to make up a 3rd and 1. And again, a great stop by Tucker Nadeau. Handoff. Crawford stumbles, or he would have scored. He's all the way down near the 5 at about the 6. It'll be 1st and goal.
There you go. Now the Spartans are making their way inside the 5, and you're going to get a heavy dose of Crawford and perhaps Roberts.
Handoff. Crawford fighting through tackles. It takes 3, well, no, just 2 Braves. 3 were in the area to bring him down.
That play seemed a little rushed to me. It was just kind of a quick handoff, but I don't know. It just felt like the offensive line wasn't able to get set as quick as they like, and a good job by the the Flathead defense to come away with a stop. 3rd down. Or 2nd down, excuse me.
Sentinel a little more methodical now as we roll inside. 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. We're still scoreless. Sentinel trying to change that in a hurry. And looks like a timeout. One of the refs pointed towards Flathead. One of the refs pointed towards Sentinel. Someone took a timeout at any rate, and it's with 4:50 to go in the 1st quarter. Sentinel is 5 yards away from breaking a scoreless tie.
Yeah, Flathead looking a little susceptible to the run right now, giving up some pretty good chunks of yardage to Crawford and Mitch Roberts and Messer, or excuse me, Germer. What a big gainer on that first down play. It really kind of just set the tone for how the drive was going to look. But coming out, going deep on the first play, you can't hold back at all. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter if this team is out of the playoffs or not. You know, if you can get a deep pass on first down, 43 yards, you got to take whatever you can get.
And Sentinel head coach Dane Oliver likes to change up tempos, and so there was a quick snap after Crawford stumbled, almost scored, and then it was, like you said, looked a little rushed, and it set up a 2nd down and 5 out of the timeout. Mitch Roberts. Handoff. That is Crawford fighting for every yard. Gets about half of what the Spartans need.
Yeah, he's got a couple yards to go here on 3rd down, so we'll see if Sentinel decides to run the ball or do you run a pass play. I would run something, maybe a draw play with Roberts, try and get this in the end zone here, but we'll see what happens. I think that's what they're going to do.
Some decent meat in the middle for Flathead. 3rd down and 3. And it's a touchdown for Connor Crawford. Straight ahead on the rush.
Gaping hole to run through. Crawford just found a seam. Easy pickings right there. 6-0 early in this game. And the Spartans look good on that first drive. That big pass play set the tone. That's why they're ahead.
Crawford, according to Max Preps, 4.3 yards per carry on the year. 11 touchdowns before that. And now the extra point is up and good off the foot of Spencer Peppinger.
Oh, looks like they're splitting the kicking duties today.
Yeah, Caden Messer was booted the opening kickoff. 4:14 to go in the opening quarter. 7-0 after Sentinel's opening drive over Flathead. Sentinel 7, Flathead nothing. Missoula County Stadium. Spartan Live football on MCAT. Caden Messer kicks it down to the 5-yard line, and Seth Adolph will take it again. He has some room to work with, and he's all the way up to the 30. And that's where Flathead will have their second offensive drive. They were able to get it into Sentinel territory, but then the Spartans defense made a stand, a big sack on 3rd and 13. And then that forced a punt. Sentinel was able to go down and score and take a 7-0 lead. Kempson Cross alongside Cole Johnson here on this Friday night.
Yeah, good start for this game for the Spartans. It's a game they really need to win in order to improve their seeding in the playoffs, as they're already in the playoffs, but win today would likely get them in the cusp of the 6th seed or potentially the 5 seed. Who knows?
Bridger Johnson, pump fake, under pressure. Diving, attempted an interception. Brandon Morley made it at the 36-yard line.
I was wondering who put the heat on the quarterback because I thought that already hit the ground, but Morley, what a job getting underneath that. And a turnover already for the defense on the ensuing kickoff. Man, huge play by the Spartans. Brandon Morley, big-time interception.
First play of the second drive by Flathead. Mason Keller with the quarterback pressure. The interception made by Brandon Morley, and Mitch Roberts is back in business for Sentinel on the offensive side. Play action, pressure, throwing, incomplete. That was deep and over the middle, and a late flag comes in. Caden Messer was the intended target. There were 2 Braves around him. Nick Germer was also in the area and running.
Trey Vasquez looked like it was just tangled feet on that one, but the ball was pretty far overthrown.
Might be what they're discussing right now.
I wouldn't have called anything.
And it is indeed pass interference against Flathead.
Well, there you go.
They'll march it off.
Calling on Cade White.
And that is a 15-yard penalty. That moves Sentinel all the way down to the 21-yard line after they started on the 36. So it'll be first down from just outside the red zone. Roberts near side for Germer. Gets a block. Inside the 10, breaking tackles to the 5. Jonas Nyman was there. Cade White was also in the area for Flathead to finish up the defensive play.
Yeah, Sentinel playing with a lot of fire right now. They're spreading the ball around. Able to get it down inside the 10 and looking for more points.
Handoff, Crawford. Bowling over defenders and almost got there. It's about 2 yards short. It'll be second down and goal.
It looked like James Flanagan in to make the hit on that play. Keep Connor Crawford out of the end zone. Good finish on that tackle.
Flathead trying to avoid going down 14-0 here in the opening quarter. Sentinel trying to score for the second time in 2 offensive drives. And it's a handoff. Crawford near the goal line.
Right there. Can't quite get in.
So it'll be third down. And looks like they're going to try to hurry it up. Handoff, Crawford again, and a great stop by Flathead. Decision time now with fourth down from the 1. Jaden McNeil was there, along with a host of other Braves.
Well, you got to go for it here. I mean, you're right there. Got to find a way to push this in. You had a gaping hole to run through. Oh, they're gonna kick the field goal.
Well, the last time you started to say you got to go for it, and then they lined up for a field goal, they faked it. So that was back. Oh, man. That was 2 games ago. So
no.
Seems like 2 months ago. Almost blocked. Great effort there. But instead, Spencer Peppinger converts to make it 10-0 with 2:09 to go in the first quarter. Almost blocked by Trey Vasquez.
He was right there. He definitely could have. Ball just eluding him, just high enough to go over his hands, but Trey Vasquez around the outside. No one even blocked him, but that's fortunate. That field goal went through. You never know on a block. Defense picks it up and get better field position. Heck, they could return it for a touchdown. You never know, so very fortunate to knock that one through the uprights.
Sentinel settles for an 18-yard field goal from the right hash to make it 10-0. Missoula Sentinel over Kalispell Flathead at Missoula County Stadium. Cade Messer teeing it up after Spencer Peppinger booted the field goal through. And that made the Spartans are still 2 for 2 on offensive drives, getting points.
Yeah, they took the points there. Went up 10-0, 18-yard field goal. Take what you can get, I suppose. You know, you just got a big turnover. You don't want to get a turnover and then come away with nothing.
Seth Adolph has returned all 3 of the kicks for Flathead tonight, and he's done a pretty good job of doing so. Last time we saw the Braves offense, it was the first play of their second drive, and they threw an interception.
Yeah, Morley got his hands underneath it on a tip pass, and the quarterback was being blitzed, and the ball kind of got away on the throw, and Morley able to get an interception on that play. It was a great play, and it turned it into 3 points for Missoula Sentinel.
Bridger Johnson from the 28. First down and 10. Maybe a busted play. Johnson will have to take it himself, and he makes a lot out of nothing, considering how that play started. It's a gain of 8 if it stands. There's a flag at the 34.
Matt Messerly in on the tackle at the very end after a 7-yard gain. I think Sentinel needs to make it a point to tackle lower and be able to wrap up.
Penalty on Sentinel, as you were saying.
But yeah, you never want to be flat-footed on defense and back on your toes, and enables the running back, or the runner in this case, Bridger Johnson, to just pick up extra yards. I felt like Sentinel didn't tackle well on that play. Wasn't able to get low to the QB.
It'll be first down after the penalty. Braves at the 41-yard line, their own 41-yard line, and it's a handoff to Skramovsky, and he is swamped in the middle. Connor Rockhorse, Spencer Schock.
Number 76 was there as well.
Tanner Stack there. Essentially the entire Sentinel Spartans defensive line.
Was the first that got there, though. Yeah, Rockhorst and Spencer Schock able to get some time off last week, the bye. Obviously, we forgot to really mention that. Yeah, Sentinel did not play last week, so they were able to heal up and enjoy some time off as the teachers weren't at school on Thursday and Friday for the teacher conventions.
Handoff, Seth Adolph. Wida giving chase and contained there by Morley. They combine on the tackle, flag down.
McKittrick was there at the end. There's a flag.
Holding on Flathead is declined because the loss will make it 3rd down and 14 from the 37 of Flathead. And since that opening drive, we've seen them make a couple plays, get a couple first downs, even string a few together, but they have yet to cross the 50 in this drive.
Yeah, Kalispell is having a real tough time right now, just generating some offensive push and just picking up big chunks of yardage. They had a good first down run on their first drive that netted them about 20-plus yards, but so far it's been kind of tough.
Whistles and a flag. Delay of game on Flathead.
Yeah, Flathead's just moving in the wrong direction right now. Cannot get going on offense.
21 seconds left in the first quarter. It's already 10-0. And Flathead has moved into a 3rd down and 19 now after a delay of game penalty at the 32-yard line.
And Kyle Sampson needs to get things under control here. 3rd and 19. Not likely they're going to pick this up.
They need the 49 of Sentinel. And the clock ran out on the first quarter. So, with 1 quarter in the books, it's Sentinel Spartans 10, Flathead Braves nothing. Your thoughts so far?
Sentinel is dominating this game right now. I think just with their defense. Already got 1 turnover. You've got a big pass play in the first quarter to really get the momentum on your side. And I see it being smooth sailing for Sentinel the rest of this game. If Flathead's going to get back into it right now, they've got to pick up this first down, but it's 19 yards to go. But, yeah, you got to punt the ball back. It might be a tough uphill climb for the Braves the rest of the game.
We'll have the second quarter for you in just a few moments. This is Spartan Live Football on MCAT. Just about ready for the second quarter. 3rd down and 19 for Flathead. They're already down 10-0. Bridger Johnson, quarterback, will roll to the far side. Looking and across one of the sticks, but it's the first stick. They needed the second one that's at the 49.
They got back to the original line of scrimmage. Just a simple out pattern on the outside that they ran there. That was to James Flanagan, and it just wasn't really there. They just went for 10 yards instead of the 19, and you got to punt the ball back to DeWaters.
4th down and 10. Seen some motion from Flathead in their special teams setup. And this one is into the night air. DeWaters trying to fair catch it, but it'll bounce out. See where they spot it. looks like the 30-yard line of Sentinel. Sentinel now going right to left as we've switched over to the second quarter.
Yeah, right now Sentinel on offense able to get the ball down near the goal line the last couple times they've had it. And Mitch Roberts able to make some plays. And Caden Messer, obviously, or excuse me, Nick Germer, focus on this offense as he's lined up at the bottom of your screen.
Mitch Roberts, handoff, Connor Crawford, breaking tackles, but is eventually brought down.
That's a good tackle right there for Flathead Braves. That was number 45, Tucker Nadeau. Loss of 1.
It's at least his second tackle of the night. Second down and 11. Play action, throw over to Germer. He's wide open in the flat, but he has to collect it after he juggled it onto his shoulder pad. Still almost got the first down. We'll see where they mark it. Chad Hemsley was there for Flathead on the defensive play. But it's a first down after all that.
Yeah, if he didn't have the bobble, he would have had a few extra yards, but he was so open there, he was just able to pick it up easily.
So Roberts, after the gain of 11, will have first down and 10 to work with. Looking, and he's got Messer on a screen pass across midfield inside the 45 of Flathead. Jonas Nyman on the tackle.
Nice screen pass, got some blocks. Messer down the sideline. Big gain on that play.
Believe it was 18 yards. First down in Flathead territory now. On the left hash for Roberts. Handoff to Crawford, escapes some backfield penetration and gets inside the 40. Jonas Nyman again there for Flathead.
Jonas Nyman is everywhere right now. The last plays have been made by him. Gain of 4. 3, I suppose.
Second down and 7 from the 39. Empty backfield for Roberts. He's back. Protection holds, throws deep, looking for Germer, and it's intercepted instead.
Trey Vasquez, the defensive back for Kalispell on a jump ball, able to wrestle it away from Germer and hauls it in. So a good athletic play there by Vasquez, pulls it down. Wasn't sure who had it after both players hit the ground, but nice catch for a turnover.
Yeah, the field position is terrible. They'll be at about the 1-yard line, but Trey Vasquez with an outstanding individual effort. He's overmatched physically by Germer on that play, but never gave up on it and is able to get a big turnover for Flathead. Sentinel opponents have had a lot of success getting points, I should say, off of turnovers.
Yeah, we've definitely noticed that for sure. It doesn't matter where on the field they are.
Handoff. Gain of a few yards by Skramovsky.
Butte, in the 35-10 loss, the only turnover they had, they went down and got points after it happened. So I think it's important for Sentinel to get tough here and make sure you don't get down on yourself. Don't get negative. Just stay focused on what's in front of you here and get off the field and try and get the ball back.
Sentinel, of course, got an interception.
Suffocating defense right now. Sentinel looks pretty stout.
Yeah, good job swarming to the football there by the Sentinel D. Sentinel got the interception and went down. Were able to get a field goal out of that drive to make it 10-0 after going up 7-0 early on. Dylan Goforth led the charge on that last defensive stop.
Yeah, that was a nice play there. Filling your gap, making the tackle. There's nowhere for Skramovsky to go on that one.
Here we go. Third down and 9. Bridger Johnson out of his own end zone. Rolling away from pressure, throws, got a man, and it's going to be more than enough for a first down. Out across the 20-yard line is Austin DeMars.
Shustari made the tackle, Kempson, but good job of Bridger Johnson, able to kind of get away from the pressure, rolls out to his right, and finds a receiver open for a gain of 15+ on that one.
That's a big play for Flathead, because that was not a place you want to be punting out of either.
No. And we talked about turnovers, Kempson, how important they are after you. Turnovers happen. I'm not saying that they're never going to happen. They are, but it's how you respond, too, if you do give one up.
Bridger Johnson on a throwback screen after rolling half roll to the left, and Skramovsky is tackled by Brandon Morley.
A good tackle by Morley. Get a little bit lower on that tackle. He still tried to look like to tackle him up high, but able to take him down. You got to get lower on Skramovsky. You'll bring him down quicker. It'll be less difficult.
It's a gain of 8, 2nd down and 2 from the 31-yard line on a drive that started on the 1. Bridger Johnson, handoff, coming this side to Seth Adolph. That time, Sentinel is able to wrap him up and push him out of bounds.
I don't think he got the, well, let's see if he got the first down or not. Yep, he did.
So a good job by Adolph to maximize the space that he did have on the short side of the field. Gain of just enough. He needed 2 and he got 2.
Feels like more of a 17-0 game or a 20-0 game right now, but it's only 10-0. So if Kalispell can go down and get any points at all on this drive, they're right there, but they're going to probably have to back up 5 yards.
There's a Flathead player trying to get off the field, and it looks like it's a legal substitution. Back him up 5 yards. Got a decent start, but they need to sustain. Bridger Johnson near side after play action, and he just ducks out of bounds. Good coverage downfield, as you mentioned. See how much they give him here.
Bridger Johnson just taking a short gain on that one. It was 1st and 15. Looks like he got maybe a couple back there.
It'll be 2nd down and either 11 or 12. 12.
Well-traveled fans from Kalispell tonight, supporting their team wherever they go. Well, they're not in the playoff hunt.
Johnson throwing over on the far side, and a good job by Sentinel to wrap up the ball carrier there. James Flanagan caught the short pass.
McKittrick, among others, were there on the tackle.
Tristan Clark looked like he was over there as well. Both of those two senior defensive players for the Spartans on senior night.
And we'll see Danny McKittrick in a couple months playing some basketball for Sentinel High, as well as Mitch Roberts.
Yeah, I was going to say probably Roberts as well. As we're rolling down to about halfway through the 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 7. Number 7, Bridger Johnson rolling right. Throwing and incomplete. Intended for Adolph, who made a leaping attempt. Justin Campbell came up to make the defensive play.
Big stop after the turnover on the 2-yard line with the interception, which was a great interception by Trey Vasquez, but Kalispell only moves 32 yards, and they got to punt the football now back to DeWaters.
DeWaters will be deep.
Defense for Sentinel playing very well.
Punter is Wesley Palmer. And that one's a line drive kick. DeWaters thought about it, but he'll wisely step away.
Yeah, that was a smart play.
Trey Vasquez downs it inside the 20, so not a bad punt. And Sentinel will take over.
Yeah, Kalispell Flathead not able to do anything with the turnover, just moved it 30 yards or so and had to punt it back. So good hold there by the Spartans, up 10-0. So we'll see if the Spartans can add to the total right now, but the defense is playing real well right now. They're in a good place.
Yeah, the field position of that interception ended up being very fortunate for Sentinel, because if that's made at midfield or so, then they have a shot at a field goal at the very least if they move it 30 yards. But instead, it's Roberts over to Germer, and a great defensive effort there to get into the backfield.
Yeah, good tackling there.
Chad Hemsley.
Yeah, very, very good tackle.
Flag down
by Chad Hemsley. Sentinel's backing up, so it looks like it's going to be on them.
Flathead has had their fair share of struggles early on with flags flying. We await the call. Eagle block in the back will be half the distance to the goal. With 5:43 to go in this second quarter, Kempson cross alongside Cole Johnson. 10-0. Sentinel from their own 8-yard line. First down and 22. Handoff to Waters. Trying to cut it up field, but there were Braves there. Still fighting. Only gets a couple yards out of it. Tucker Nadeau.
Yeah, Jonas Nyman was there making the first initial hit, and then Tucker Nadeau pushed him out of bounds. But DeWater seems to even just make a little something out of nothing, it seems like at times, even if it is only a 1-yard gain.
And like you mentioned, he's only a sophomore, so he's only going to get better. Roberts with a deep throw again, looking for Germer. Was a little behind him and maybe a little too far as well, and it'll go down as an incompletion.
Chad Hemsley was there on the covers, but that throw was there. Germer was able to get into the open, and the throw was a little bit behind Germer, so he had to kind of reach back for it, but that could have been a 90 or an 81-yard touchdown if you lead him in front, but wasn't able to make the connection.
And when you talk about your key word for Sentinel being finish, then you'd like to have that kind of play be made.
Oh, yeah.
Instead, it's third down and long. And the pass rush almost got there. Now, instead of running it, he throws it, and Brandon Morley drops it.
Now,
Vasquez there.
A little sloppy offensively, kind of a tough spot to be in when you got a holding penalty or a legal block, and now you've got 4th and 19. But, yeah, you talk about those big plays down the middle of the field. In the playoffs, those plays have to be made, and if they're not, it's going to be tough to advance, anywho. So, but Sentinel's got a punt, so Kalispell has some life here.
Morley averaging about 34 yards per punt. This one will take a Sentinel bounce across midfield all the way down to about the 41-yard line. Trey Vasquez and James Flanagan were deep for Flathead, but they didn't touch it. Sentinel did, and it'll be first down for the Braves from the 41-yard line.
Yeah, Kalispell getting the ball back here, so real good field position. Haven't really been able to sustain anything offensively. Their last drive was probably their best drive of the game, even though they only moved it 30 yards. But yeah, having a tough time just establishing some momentum. Running the football's been a little difficult. And Bridger Johnson just trying to get out in the open and make plays to his wide receivers.
Johnson will hand off. No, that's Seth Adolph as a
I think he kept
in
it
at quarterback as a direct
wasn't.
snap there, and he did keep it for 2 yards, second down and 8. Bridger Johnson will split out wide once again. It'll be Seth Adolph at quarterback. Saw Caden Messer do this for Sentinel earlier this game. And now a handoff, a reverse. And Bridger Johnson's looking for a receiver, throws it up the near sideline and threw it away.
And
was
Morley
looking for
just
Flanagan.
leveled. Morley was just leveled on the block there to kind of free up Bridger Johnson, but no one was open. That play didn't really fool anybody.
So Flathead reaches into the bag of tricks and comes up empty. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Not a bad idea to run to end around to your quarterback, preferably on 2nd down. Now you still have another play to run. See those plays every now and then. Gadget plays, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So
it was
better
interesting.
runner on 2nd down than 3rd.
It was interesting that they went back-to-back with that look, too. Bridger Johnson with an empty backfield. Throwing over the middle. Vasquez juggles it, then collects it, and is not going to have enough for the 1st down.
Good stop again on defense. You got to punt the football here. I don't know if you can go for it.
Well, down 10-0 with Sentinel off to they were off to a very, very good start in the 1st quarter, but since then have slowed down. But maybe it's 4-down territory already. Like you said, Flathead doesn't really have anything to lose.
That's very true.
So they can be ultra aggressive all night long. And 4th down and 3, a timeout.
Think it over.
Will be taken by the Braves. And they will do just that. They'll think it over with 3:10 to go in the 1st half. And Sentinel on Flathead's first drive, Flathead was able to get it across midfield. They had a decent drive going. Then they had a 3rd down and long, and Ezra Wida sack ended that drive. A 43-yard pass to Germer and set up an eventual Connor Crawford 3-yard touchdown to put Sentinel up 7-0 in the early going. And then Morley with an interception after Johnson was pressured and almost sacked and just kind of threw one up in the middle of the field. And they ended up on that drive with a Peppinger field goal. So that brings the score to 10-0, where it still stands even after a Trey Vasquez interception of Mitch Roberts a few minutes ago. But you thought at the time that they should have gone for it there on 4th down from about the 1-yard line.
Yeah, I did. I think it was a tough call. So and they kicked the field goal. You take the points. But I don't know. 1 more yard to get. You could have done a quick handoff, maybe even have Roberts out of the shotgun and just run it up the middle. But Dane Oliver, hey, take the points. Defense is playing well. So
Bridger Johnson on 4th down, rollout, throw, Flanagan, 1st down yardage.
yeah, big time catch there to keep the drive alive on 4th down. You don't convert that, it's going to be tough to recover. Caden Messer with the tackle, but needed only 3 yards, and they picked up about 15.
We'll see if that's the boost that Flathead needed to sustain a drive all the way to points. They're at the 36-yard line now with 1st down and 10. We're inside 3 minutes to play in the 1st half. Handoff, near side, Skramovsky was met
by the Spartan defense, number 16 for Missoula Sentinel.
Second down and 9 upcoming after just a gain of 1. Clock is running down towards 2 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter.
Hey, look at the Spartans on defense, still pitching a shutout in the 1st half. Pretty impressive.
Handoff, Skramovsky has to break through some tackles.
Pretty good run.
Gain of, we'll see if they give him 7 or 8. And they give him...
Kalispell's got 2 plays to get a 1st down on 3rd down and 3. They'll go for it if they don't get anything.
3rd down and 3, so picked up, I guess, 6.
Kalispell still, even though it's 10-0, just hanging around in this game.
Handoff, Adolph, near side, 1st down.
Rockhorse with the tackle.
Justin Campbell was there as well. Sentinel Spartans defense, we've seen them be a little bit susceptible to a physical running game. That's what lost them the game against Big Sky in the Missoula City Championship game.
Yeah, once you can start running on them, you can keep it running, and you got to be able to make the adjustment. That's what Kalispell's doing right now.
And timeout by Sentinel. So with 1:11 to go in the first half, they want to try to keep pitching this shutout as they're already up 10-0 over Flathead. This is Spartan Live Football on MCAT. Kempson Cross alongside Cole Johnson, Missoula County Stadium, Missoula Sentinel Spartans 10, Kalispell Flathead Braves nothing. 1:11 to go in this second quarter. Bridger Johnson and the Braves have their best scoring threat mounted, and they're trying to punctuate it with a score. Play fake, pressure, throws, and Justin Campbell was the nearest one to almost making another interception. A flag is down.
Ezra Wida putting the heat on the quarterback. And I wonder what they're going to call on this one. I don't know if it'll be roughing or not. I don't think it should have been called.
No, the contact was while he was throwing the football. That's why the pass came out funky. It's a pass interference call against Sentinel.
Wow.
That helps Flathead a whole lot.
Yeah.
Gets him all the way down inside the 12-yard line.
Yeah, that is a huge, huge, huge penalty right before the end of the half that you don't need. I didn't see it personally, but I wasn't looking in the direction of it.
I was focused on the backfield because Johnson had a Sentinel Spartan right in his grill. Johnson now has first down and a handoff to Skramovsky inside the 10, gain of 2. Second down and 8. They can still pick up the first without scoring, but they need to score within, as we've just rolled inside a minute to go.
I would tell you how many timeouts left if I knew, but I don't know how
right,
many they got left.
because we had one time where someone took a timeout and a ref pointed one way and another referee pointed the other. So Flathead might be out of timeouts. Handoff to the far side, fighting for yardage inside the 5-yard line. Messerly was the first contact, but he didn't quite bring Blake Counts to the turf.
It's a big play here. You got 22 seconds left in this game and counting. You've got to get a stop here.
Flathead doesn't have a timeout. They must not have a timeout, as this might be the last play. We're go inside 10 minutes or 10 seconds. And now Sentinel has to take a timeout.
Sentinel's not going to, yeah, well, I guess
with
you want to be ready.
With 6 seconds to go in the second quarter, 10-0 Sentinel, and probably the last play of the half here. And Sentinel did not want to get caught out of position, give up an easy score.
Yeah, this is a big play right here. I got to stop them. And, I mean, Kalispell could potentially come away with nothing. They might kick the field goal. We'll see what happens. They were lined up like they were going to go for it. So, but yeah, you don't get it right here. Depending on how much time runs off the clock, if you're going to drop back to pass, there could be no time left after an incompletion on third down. So you have to know what you're going to do and feel like you can execute it to score a touchdown and make this a 3-point game. But Sentinel pitching the shutout so far. Defense looks good. They've been on the field quite a bit in the second quarter, probably more than they've liked to be. And Kalispell Flathead is knocking on the door.
Third down and 2. but there's 4 yards between Flathead and the goal line. Bridger Johnson will be under center for maybe the first time tonight. And he'll pitch it. It'll be a reverse. It'll be a pass to Bridger Johnson. Touchdown, Flathead. Wow. Beautiful execution of a trick play on the goal line.
That one is going to sting for a little bit, at least for right now. You run an end around, and your quarterback goes to the end zone. I thought they were being, honestly, a little bit too cute on that play, but Bridger Johnson was open for a touchdown, and a huge touchdown just with 1 second left to go in the first half. It's only 10-6 at this point. Sentinel will get the ball first to start the second half.
And they're fortunate because Flathead is bringing quite a bit of momentum into the lockers for halftime.
If that pass is incomplete, Kempson, there's no time left, and Kalispell doesn't score at all. But now they got the touchdown. It completely changes everything. Maybe that second would have ran off on an incomplete pass. I don't know. It may very well could have. So,
at any rate, there's 1 second left, and so we will see a kickoff. Flathead still down 10-7, but that's a lot of momentum that they just built up with their first sustained drive, going down and able to get points right before halftime.
Oh, yeah, that's enormous right there. I feel like they played a pretty good first half. They decided to take a field goal on 4th and 1. I don't know if I would have done it. I would have probably gone for it, being that close. But Dane Oliver electing to take the points. I guess it's a 3-point game. If they didn't get it, who knows what the score would be. Maybe it would be tied. But, yeah, I mean, a pretty good, clean half for Sentinel in terms of, just, taking care of the ball. They did have the 1 turnover down on their own end, but I feel like just picking up first downs has been a little bit of a struggle so far offensively.
Cody Cusker will kick off for Flathead. Just made it a 3-point game, just a 10-7 score now. Elias DeWaters is one of 2 guys back deep, and he will scoop it up and dodge 1 tackler, dodge another tackler, still trying to get the corner on the far side. There's a lot of white jerseys over there, and they finally run him out at the 40, and that's how this half will end.
I cannot wait to see Elias DeWaters play as a senior.
Right?
I just cannot wait. I mean, he got to the edge fairly quickly. And, I mean, yeah, was he going to run it much more past the 50? No.
And they're up 10-7 against Kalispell Flathead, even though the Braves were able to build up some momentum by finally punching a score in at the end of the half. Sentinel gets it to start the second half. For halftime, we'll get a few stats, and we'll try to check out the out-of-town scoreboard as well. We'll be back in a few minutes. Kempson Cross alongside Cole Johnson. This is Spartan Live Football on MCAT. Missoula County Stadium, Missoula, Montana. Kempson Cross alongside Cole Johnson. Missoula Sentinel Spartans 10, Kalispell Flathead Braves 7. Just about ready to get underway in the second half here. We'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard just so we get that out of the way real quick. Billings Senior, 14-0 forfeit win over Missoula Hellgate. They essentially get a bye week as they've already clinched the number 1 seed for Montana in football. Kalispell Glacier 27, Missoula Big Sky nothing at halftime. That is in Kalispell. Billings West 21-14 over Helena in Helena. Bozeman 17-3 over Skyview in Billings. Capital at Butte tied at 21 at halftime. Great Falls CMR and Great Falls High. It's 17-0 in favor of the Bison over the Rustlers in that crosstown rivalry matchup. That is our out-of-town scoreboard. Sentinel here up 10-7 in a game they should win, and they really need to win to put themselves in the best position as far as playoffs and just get some momentum and keep momentum going.
Yeah, Sentinel needs this win badly. They really do. They need to be able to put some points up on the board in the second half. It was, I mean, in terms of consistent play on the offensive side, it wasn't terrible, but
I think just sustaining drives and picking up bigger chunks of yardage, I feel like it's still missing. They had that first play to Caden Messer that went for 43 yards, or excuse me, Nick Germer, and that really got him going and led to a touchdown on that drive. But so far, Kalispell Flathead is hanging in there, and they got a score right at the end of the first half to make it a 3-point game. So kind of rattling off some stats, Johnson, the QB for Flathead, Bridger Johnson, had 80 yards on 8 of 12 attempts. Kane Rodig actually threw the touchdown pass to Bridger Johnson to make it a 10-7 game. Mitch Roberts, 4 of 8. He has 4 completions in the first half for 85 yards. When you look at receiving, James Flanagan, 5 catches for 47 yards, and Caden Messer or Nick Germer, 3 receptions and 95 yards. I always get Messer and Germer mixed up all the time. I always do that. Nick Germer, 3 catches, 95 yards. He had that 43-yard reception on the very first offensive play of the game for the Spartans. Mitch Roberts, rushing. Connor Crawford, 9 carries, 36 yards. Skramovsky had 8 carries, 24 yards. I look at Sentinel running the football this year. Didn't do as well as I thought they would, to be quite honest with you. Crawford had some decent games in there, but it seems like more of Sentinel's running kind of tends to be shotgun snap, Roberts getting out, using his feet, running that way. But Crawford hasn't really gotten going as much as I hoped he would. He has 36 yards in the first half. Dane Oliver, you don't want to play the 1 seed. Anybody but the number 1 seed. Play our best football late in the year. We have to focus on what it means to be mentally tough. Our defense has to step up. We have to run the football well. We haven't seen them be running the ball very well in this game. Every drill must have a finished component. We coach off film and giving skills to handle situations late in games is what he preached this week when I talked to him on the phone. And I think the biggest thing for them is it's going to be mental toughness at the end of this one. Running the football has been very difficult so far, and if you're not going to want to play the number 1 seed, you have got to win this game tonight. Kempson, they have a 3-point lead. I think they're going to hang on. They're going to win this game. But we'll see what happens in the second half. You got to sustain drives, pick up some first downs. We'll see if they can get the running game going.
Up 10-7 at halftime. If you want your team ID to be finish, then as far as the season and as far as the game, then they need to hold on to and add to that lead. This one is fielded by one of the upbacks. It's Connor Rockhorst. Even though he's wearing number 76, he does play some tight end. Trey Vasquez on the stop, so Sentinel will get the ball after deferring to start this game.
We have called Trey Vasquez's name quite a bit in the first half. He's probably going to play a factor in the second half, depending on how Flathead does on defense and maybe perhaps on offense.
Mitch Roberts and the Spartans searching for consistency. They had an explosive play to start with the Germer from Roberts connection. 43-yard pass that set up a touchdown. Connor Crawford was the man who ran it across the goal line, and he's running through Flathead Braves for first down yardage. All finally swarmed at the 41-yard line, 42-yard line with a first down Sentinel.
That's the type of running I'm talking about. Getting out to the outside, making people miss, running downhill. He's got a third of his rushing yards already than he did in the first half. He picked up 12. He had 36 in the first half alone. So Crawford trying to get the chains moving and keep the clock moving.
Roberts, handoff. DeWaters coming. No, that's good fake out by DeWaters. Roberts was dragged down and is not slow to get up. Flathead was able to bring him down.
If the ankle's bothering him again, it looks like it could very well be Kempson.
Did have a week off to kind of get healthy. The Sentinel team did, and Rylan Ort, no hesitation. He's already in there at quarterback, the sophomore who came in and played in the Billings West game when Roberts went down. He'll throw deep, near side, and that is Nick Germer on the sideline at the 27-yard line. And that'll be more than enough for a Sentinel first down.
And Rylan Ort coming in on the first play of the game, throwing a Sideline pass to Nick Germer, comes down with it at the 27-yard line, and it's a first down already for the Spartans.
Ort trying to keep the drive going, and this play is blown dead. Flag down. Looks like a false start. And it'll back up the Spartans 5 yards, first down and 15. Just underway in this second half. Kempson Cross alongside Cole Johnson for Spartan Live Football on MCAT. We're glad that you're able to join us tonight. Rylan Ort is in the game after Roberts went down a few plays ago. A throw down the near sideline. Double coverage! And the safety over the top had a good play on it, but was not able to complete the catch.
That was Jonathan Baker able to come over, number 22. Not a good idea. When you look at single coverage, you want to make sure that the safety is not in a position where he can come over and make a play on that ball. And Jonathan Baker was there to break that up. Could have intercepted it.
Rylan Ort, the young quarterback. Yeah, not a great look off there, not even much of a look off at all. And now Roberts is back in the game. That's good to see for Sentinel Spartans fans. He'll swing it out to Messer, but Flathead read that beautifully.
Wow.
First one there was...
Tucker Nadal was in there for sure.
Yeah, Zephyr Holloway was one of the first people there, number 68. Haven't called his name yet as we roll inside. 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Number 3 is back in the game.
That play had some fire right there on Kalispell Flathead's defense. And they got a 3rd and 17.
Yeah.
Good position right here to.
All of a sudden you look up and it's 3rd down and 17 after the penalty and a couple unsuccessful plays. And now a throw on a screen pass near side and not going to be anywhere close to the sticks. A flag comes down late.
That's probably going to be maybe a personal foul, but Kalispell Flathead, man, getting after the QB, quick to the ball. They are energetic.
Connor
right
Crawford.
Now. Oh, no.
It is a personal foul against Flathead.
Wow.
I thought they might have gotten Sentinel on the near side with illegal block in the back because one of the Sentinel players definitely brushed one of the Braves, or appeared to. Maybe didn't quite get there, as Crawford was trying to meander his way towards the first down marker, but the first down is given by a Flathead penalty instead. All the way down at the 16-yard line.
Enormous penalty at that juncture. The way that they were playing on defense for the Braves.
And a handoff to Crawford. He's trying to come alive here in the second half after being pretty quiet in the first. And he picked up some good yardage there. For second down from the 11, second down and 5. Tough to judge yardage from this angle. We're at the other end of the press box. And this is a free runner and a sack for Flathead on Mitch Roberts. It was Kenyon Fretwell.
Fretwell just coming out and showing off the speed and the finish on the sack. Unblocked. Yeah, Kalispell really sticking to the game plan right now, but there is a lot of energy on that defense right now.
Flathead has been bringing some overload blitzes, and they've gotten home once or twice. That was one of those times. Roberts with a decent pocket, a throw over to the far side, and it was just out of reach of Brandon Morley on 3rd down and long.
Yeah, completely covered. Roberts forced to just throw it away, see what they do if they're going to go for it or try a field goal.
And it looks like the field goal team is out. Spencer Peppinger. This will be a... Let me see. It's going to be in the middle of the field. It'll be a 37-yard attempt. And it's blocked! And Flathead gets on top of it at the 25-yard line.
Well, Sentinel, beware right now because there is a lot of energy on the visitor sideline right now as Jonas Nyman trying to pump up his team's arms waving. A lot of fire right now, and the momentum is clearly on the side of the Braves, even though they are trailing in this game right now.
You may not know it with the way they're playing, and you wouldn't know that they've been eliminated from the playoff contention as well. They are playing some spirited football, down by 3 points with 8:07 to go now in the third quarter. A blocked field goal. They'll take over at their own 25. Bridger Johnson. Fake handoff, near side. Adolph! Oh, the deflection by Jakubowski.
Jakubowski, nice play to get his hand up in there. Going for something big. Looking for Seth Adolph down the field, but Jakubowski right there to knock the ball away. Nice
Sentinel
play.
very fortunate that Bryant Jakubowski was there for the pass deflection. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Matt Messerly was trailing Adolph on the coverage, but Adolph was open. This is Adolph, a direct snap at quarterback. And he goes straight forward for about 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Now Sentinel has got to get a stop of their own right now. This has turned into a defensive battle in the second half. But they do have a 3-point lead.
3rd down and 6 from the 29-yard line. Braves trying to capitalize on the blocked field goal. Fake handoff, rolling near side again, Johnson. Good coverage downfield and a throwaway. Good stand by the Sentinel Spartans defense.
Yeah, big time stand, get the ball back. Dane Oliver clapping his hands, getting his team fired up. That was a big time stop on 3rd down. 7:14 to go in the third quarter, but you're going to get the ball back.
Elias DeWaters will go back deep. Wesley Palmer, also a sophomore, is the punter. Kick is away. DeWaters, this might be returnable, but no, the Flathead defense is able to get down there, and it will be downed by Jaden McNeil. At the 27-yard line, Sentinel will take over once again. They had a pretty good first drive of the second half, but some penalties. It stalled out. Then they attempted a field goal, and it was blocked by Flathead.
Yeah, they're playing great on defense right now, Flathead is, in the second half, and I'm just waiting for someone to block Jonas Nyman because he is playing possessed right now. Getting after the quarterback on a lot of the tackles, too. On the plays before that, the personal foul bailed Sentinel out, and Sentinel ended up getting a first down out of it. They still couldn't convert as there was a blocked field goal like you mentioned, so they try and get back to running the football.
Handoff to Crawford.
And who made the tackle on that one? Jonas Nyman.
There you go.
Yeah,
Flathead defense standing tall. 2nd down and 10. 11, 2nd down and 11, a loss of 1 on the play.
You've got to run a play action and get Mitch Roberts out, away, some misdirection so he can look downfield and he can use his feet if he has to. Here we go.
And a throw out to the flat. Elias DeWaters with a stiff arm, still going, and he's finally ridden out on the far side. Chad Hemsley made the defensive stop there to bring up 3rd down.
I would try something quick here, maybe a slant over the middle to try and pick up this 5 yards. It's a big 3rd down here.
3rd down and 4. Empty backfield, and Flathead jumps offside.
Yeah, very, very poor penalty right there. That was on Cade White trying to time the snap. It's going to be an automatic 1st down because of that.
The senior quarterback, Mitch Roberts, with a hard count in that situation. Moves it up to the 38-yard line. And like you said, is just enough for a first down Sentinel.
Well, Kalispell Flathead, you got to give them credit. They were down 30-0 against Capitol High. They lost 30-20, so they don't quit either.
Crawford is looking for yardage on first down, but he's not going to get any. They might give him no gain. As half the third quarter is gone. 6 minutes to go now in quarter number 3. And it looks like they gave him a yard or so. So it's going to be second down and 9.5.
And Jonas Nyman playing in his last game as a Brave. Really laying it all out there. My goodness.
Play action. Roberts trying to stand tall and make a throw. Connor Rockhorse with his hands on his helmet.
That was Nyman again on the sack.
He wasn't the only Flathead Brave in the backfield. That was the problem on that play. Third down and 12 upcoming now after the sack. Again, a pretty good crowd on hand on the Flathead side. And they're trying to get loud for their Braves on third down and 12. Back goes Roberts. Trying to get away from trouble, but it's Bridger Johnson bringing down the other quarterback.
Quarterback bringing down a quarterback. They play both ways, and Bridger Johnson getting in on some of the action now, and this game has just completely turned around, especially on the defensive side. Kalispell just looks terrific right now, getting to the quarterback, getting downfield and making plays.
So out of halftime, the early returns are good for Flathead. And this one is called dead at the 20-yard line. Vasquez was able to field it.
Yeah, put his hand up early or something.
Yeah.
Maybe invalid. I don't know.
Someone did.
Someone fair.
4:14 to go in this third quarter. 10-7 in favor of Missoula Sentinel, but you wouldn't know it by the energy in this football game right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was said in that locker room to get the defense fired up, but apparently it was pretty inspirational because in the first half they were playing well on defense. I want to give them their credit, but Jonas Nyman has just been flying all over the place in the second half. It's like, whoa, just coming after Roberts at all angles and getting to the ball carrier.
Bridger Johnson and the Braves offense. Handoff. Ryan Skramovsky coming near side, and now Sentinel defense.
That was good pursuit there to close the run down. Yeah, if you're Sentinel and you're Dane Oliver, you've got to get your team focused on. We got to play through every snap and play just as hard.
Second down and 10 after no gain on first down. Bridger Johnson made the sack of Mitch Roberts to finish off Sentinel's drive. Now he rolls to the far side, now back to the near side. Pressure coming, and he throws it right in front of him.
Good stop right there by the Spartans. Offense has been a serious issue for the Flathead Braves in terms of just putting points up on the board in general. They've been blown out in a couple games, and they were able to beat some of the bottom feeders of this AA pack, but they haven't put up much points this year.
Bridger Johnson just spiked it on the turf right in front of himself on this near sideline. No flag for intentional grounding. Ezra Wida was bearing down on him. There were other players kind of in the area. Bridger Johnson is back now on third down and long, and the Sentinel pass rush almost gets there. Now they're going to have to stop him before he gets to the sticks.
Which they did.
Fourth down and 1. maybe two
yeah.
upcoming.
Yeah, Bridger Johnson, play breaks down. You see a couple running lanes to go through, and they pick up a good chunk, but they're going to be short by a couple yards.
Oh, yeah, I misread the sticks there. It's 4th down and 2 is what's on the scoreboard. 4th down and a long 2.
I think they were contemplating maybe going for it. But back on your own 30.
Like we said, Flathead doesn't really have anything to lose. And Sentinel, I mean, they can't be knocked out of the playoffs, but they need this win tonight to get themselves back on the winning side of things after they got a forfeit win over Hellgate, but before that, failed to score a point at Billings West. This one is going to take a Flathead bounce and be downed by John Hinchy. So both defenses playing pretty well, both offenses not great.
Yeah.
So that helps the defenses out, but the defenses have got to make the plays when they're there.
Yeah. I think if you're the Spartans right now, you got to run some plays to the outside, maybe a couple wide receiver screens, just to spread things out a little bit more. Because right now, anything in the middle is just not going anywhere by the way of this Flathead Brave defense.
Play action. Decent time for Roberts. Now he's trying to escape, and he gets out of bounds on the far sideline, picks up 1 or 2 yards.
Yeah, blocking was better there on that one.
But there was nowhere to go downfield.
He only got 1.5 yards, not just 2 on that. Looked like maybe he picked up 3 or 4 from where I was standing, but only a 2-yard gain.
2nd down and 8 from the 32-yard line. Clock stopped at 2:26 to go in the 3rd quarter. Now Caden Messer will come in that package that the Spartans use where they just direct snap it to him. Ty Kendall will come in motion as well in that package. It's now 3rd down and 3.
Run the hurry up.
And they're trying to catch Flathead off guard, but Flathead's able to make the stop.
Wow. Good 1.5 yards short. You can't go for it. You got to punt it.
That was a quick 3 and out.
That was very quick. I liked the idea of the fast pace. Okay, let's run it a few times. Just get some positive momentum going, picking up maybe a 1st down or 2, but 3 plays and out, not able to get the push that they need. Oh, look out here. Might be an automatic 1st down. We'll
now
see.
They got the hard count going on. Well, we'll wait for the call, but it looked like.
Yeah, if you're Flathead, you don't want to ever jump on a play like that. They're Kalispell Flathead saying it's on Sentinel. And Dane Oliver wants to know what's going on.
And now it's going to be a false start against Flathead. Or not against Flathead. It's going to be a false start against Sentinel after Flathead jumped off sides, but apparently it was because Sentinel moved. So now eliminates probably any possibility of even a fake or anything like that. Brandon Morley punts it away. And that may have hit a Flathead Brave. A scrum for it at the 30-yard line, 25-yard line.
The Spartan may have came up with this one.
There was a Flathead player there as well. And Flathead is able to retain possession of the football.
Wow. That may have been the break that the Spartans needed. Oh, man, so close to getting that one. And Flathead's going to keep it.
Still 10-7. That was our halftime score. Now with 1:26 to go in this 3rd quarter. Apparently it hit a Sentinel player at the 29-yard line. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, this game is really slowed down. You think of the Spartans' start to the game. It could have been 14-0. The first couple drives of the game. But the defense for Flathead has really stepped up.
Bridger Johnson, near side. Flanagan, a good tackle there by Danny McKittrick. Brandon Morley was there as well.
Yeah, good wrap up by McKittrick on that one. gain of 4.
Second down and 5 coming up, as we will roll inside a minute to play in the third quarter. It's like they're trying to spot it where we don't say.
Right.
It's like we always get it wrong by a yard.
Yep.
Bridger Johnson, handoff. No, and a great job there by Sentinel defensively. The play action fooled me, but did not fool Brandon Morley, and he laid the wood on Bridger Johnson in the backfield.
Looking for Austin Demers on that play. Wasn't able to come through with it, but Sentinel really wasn't fooled on that play fake.
Flathead shouting for a late hit on the QB, but the QB was throwing as the defense got there. Third down and 5. And now movement on both sides of the line. Flags coming in.
It was probably going to go on Flathead. Yep. Flathead has really had a tough time this year putting points up. Like I mentioned, it's been hard to just sustain anything.
And at least here tonight, they've struggled with penalties.
Yeah, penalties have really cost them too. Personal foul penalties. Even though the personal foul really didn't lead to anything because they ended up blocking the field goal. But
so it actually was third down and 4. Now it's third and 9 from the 30. Adolph in motion. A roll to the far side. Johnson, and it is tipped and incomplete.
Almost intercepted. Good pass breakup by the Spartans, and they hold again. They're going to get it back.
Caden Messer with the pass deflection for the Spartans. Yeah, both these defenses trading possessions right now and standing tall when both these offenses, like we said, are struggling a bit.
10-7 game. And as the third quarter is about to wind down.
Kind of feels like the next, well, if anybody scores, feels like the next score will win it.
Yeah.
Whether especially with how these defenses are playing, if Flathead scores, takes a 4-point lead, or the Spartans maybe put it away if they can push a touchdown across. Still just 10-7 as it was at halftime. And DeWaters may have muffed it, and it's still loose, and Flathead will recover it. If I'm not mistaken, it is Flathead's ball.
Not a good play by DeWaters at all. It was a low line drive. You got to leave that one alone, and he dove for it inexplicably, and it cost him, and the ball was fumbled. Elias DeWaters, you're going to be thinking about that one going back to the sideline. That's a punt. You got to leave that one alone. Not a good idea to go for that. And now the Spartans, uh-oh. But let's see if they can come through and make a big stop here. But that was inexplicable for Elias DeWaters to go for that.
For all Elias DeWaters is done, he's gone over 100 all-purpose yards 3 times, at least 3 times this year for the Sentinel Spartans. Over 200 yards all-purpose twice, or at least once.
Yeah, good tackle there by Ezra Wida.
Yeah, Flathead on first down. And no gain, and that's how we'll end the third quarter of play. Still a 3-point ball game, but Flathead, even though they've struggled to move the ball, Sentinel has as well, and it's still just 10-7 in favor of the Spartans. And as we end the third quarter, the Spartans with a key turnover right there.
That was big. It was big, and Elias DeWaters kind of caught in between there on a low-line drive, and he tried to run up on it and scoop his hands underneath, but smarter to just let that one go. The rush was coming. The ball squirted out, made contact with it after he hit the ground and kind of squirted out, and Flathead got on it. So we'll see what happens here, but Braves in Sentinel territory now.
And we'll have the fourth quarter for you in just a few minutes. This is Spartan Live Football on MCAT. Kempson cross alongside Cole Johnson. Seth Adolph on a direct snap. Gains a few yards. A flag comes in. Sentinel knocked him backwards after he gained about 2. And it looks like a hold against Flathead.
It'll back him up.
That would make it, depending on the spot of the foul, we'll see how they march it off. Just underway in this fourth quarter. And we saw both defenses keep our halftime score on the board. It's 10-7 still. Sentinel Spartans over the Flathead Braves. Holding on Flathead. And after they march it off, still waiting for the yardage to be put on the board. But Sentinel got a decent drive going to start the second half. Blocked field goal by Flathead. They also had a key sack in there, and this Flathead possession comes off of a Elias DeWaters muff punt. What a catch, Seth Adolph!
Wow. Feathered the needle. That was by far the best throw of the game by Bridger Johnson. Not even close. May have been the best throw of the year. Man, enormous first down. Enormous. Kind of the way the offense was moving at this point, it was kind of at a lost cause. But what a throw.
They went from second down and a couple miles to a fresh set of downs at the 32-yard line of Sentinel. They were in their own territory before that last completion. Handoff, Skramovsky with a hole. And he is near another first down for Flathead.
And some of the well-traveled Braves fans really starting to get into this one now. Things are looking mighty interesting in the fourth quarter.
Just a minute gone in this fourth quarter. It's still 10-7. Sentinel, as it was at halftime, but the Braves are threatening. And that is a good tackle, shoestring tackle by Caden Messer, flag down. Holding on Flathead.
Wow,
so the
big
Braves
penalty.
continue to shoot themselves into the foot with penalties.
Yeah, that was a huge penalty right there. Yeah, penalties have kind of been the story that has caused Flathead to not be able to sustain the kind of drives that they need to stay in this game. And so now this is going to get backed up to about the 30-yard line. You're going to have a 1st and 20.
On a cold night at Missoula County Stadium, Kempson Cross and Cole Johnson with you for this defensive struggle.
Boy.
Between the playoff-bound Missoula Sentinel Spartans, who scored the first 10 points of the game, and the Kalispell Flathead Braves, who come in at 3-6, eliminated from playoff contention, but not eliminated from contention in this game, and they got a key score before halftime on a reverse touchdown pass to their quarterback. Their quarterback's in trouble here, and Ethan Jones will run him down from behind for the sack.
Man, huge stop. Ethan Jones finally getting in the mix, able to run down the QB from behind. And now it's 2nd down and 26 for a first. I think if you're Kalispell, you just need to get into field goal range here. I think if you can get inside the 25, best case scenario for them, picking up a first down is going to be real tough.
After a holding call, the Ethan Jones sack It is indeed 2nd and 26 as we roll inside 10 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Bridger Johnson throwing over the middle, incomplete. It was short, hopped, and behind Flanagan.
Yep. Short hop. Felt some pressure from the 3-man rush. Had to get rid of it quickly. An incomplete pass. And from your own 35, it's probably don't want it to be 4-down territory. If you're Kalispell, you just want to get half of this.
3rd down and 26. They converted a long play for a 1st down conversion earlier in this drive. Johnson scrambling away from pressure this time. Wida was finally able to tackle him. Spencer Schock was there as well.
Another flag. Oh, no.
A flag goes
down. Throw a flag on this one?
Dane Oliver frustrated on the sideline, and he is
might be a personal
talking
foul.
to Tanner Stack. Referees still discussing.
9:20.
Flag is still on the turf. It'll be personal foul, and they'll march it off, and it still won't be enough for a 1st down. Flathead will, well, let's see. Yeah, they're going to kick the field goal. A 30-yard field goal from the left hash. Off the right foot of Cody Cusker. It's up.
Got it.
Long enough, high enough, good. Tie game with 9:09 to go in the 4th quarter.
This has been one interesting football game for sure. I think you've got to give Kalispell Flathead a ton of credit by the way they're playing. Their defense has played lights out in the second half. This could have been a 14-0 game. It looked like it was. Honestly, I thought they were going to run up the score on them. Like I felt like the way that it was going in the beginning, Sentinel moving the ball downfield on that first drive and scoring a TD and then getting it down to the 1-yard line, opting not to go for it and kick a field goal. It wasn't looking good for a while, but since that time, Sentinel really hasn't done anything on offense. And you got to give credit to the coaching staff of Flathead, and Jonas Nyman is just an absolute animal out there in the second half, playing with some sort of fire that at least I didn't see in the first half, getting after the ball carrier and making some plays in the second half of this football game.
Him and the entire rest of this Flathead Braves defense have made sure that these 10 points on the Flathead side of the board have gone unanswered. As it was a 10-0 Sentinel lead early on, and their first 2 offensive drives, they were able to put points on the board. One of them was off a Brandon Morley interception on a throw where Johnson had a Spartan in his grill, and he just threw one up, and that became a 10-0 lead, and now just a complete turnaround, and Flathead has clawed their way back to a 10-10 tie, and they have most of the momentum on their side as Cody Cusker will have to tee it back up to send it away. And Elias DeWaters, like you said, he'll be a lot of fun to watch as a senior, especially just a sophomore, though. And that youth kind of showed, even though he's made a lot of big plays for this Sentinel. He's been a great asset for this Sentinel offense on special teams there. That muff punt was essentially set Flathead up to tie this game.
Yeah, it did. And, I mean, again, I stand by that statement. Yeah, when he's a senior, he might very well be one of the best running backs in the state that year. And
ball out again. Flathead ball.
Can't believe it. Cannot believe it.
Was he not down? Apparently not, and apparently Flathead was able to get on top of it before it trickled out of bounds.
St. Oliver kind of pondering around on the sidelines, wondering what is going on here. This is a huge turnover at this juncture in the game with 9 minutes to go. The defense is back out there again. Oh, man.
9:01 to go in regulation. It's tied at 10 between Flathead and Missoula Sentinel. Sentinel just had their second consecutive fumble. The last 2 times a Spartan has touched the ball, they put it on the turf and put Flathead in prime position to score some points. Bridger Johnson, handoff. And that's Counts. Blake Counts.
Yeah, that turnover, that did not come at a good time. Granted, there's still 9 minutes to go, but field goal range, they're just 5 yards away. And the way that this game is going right now, Kempson, Sentinel hasn't been able to move the ball at all in the second half.
Gain of 3, second down and 7. And you're absolutely right. Handoff. Adolph. Sentinel defense rallying to the ball and forcing him out of bounds. A loss of 3 to make it 3rd down and 10.
Ethan Jones there on the tackle. Good job of pursuit, getting to the outside. Nowhere to go on that play. Would they dare try a 45-yard field goal? If they were to at least get to the 30, well, the 28-yard line would be a 45-yarder.
Again, Flathead blocked a field goal attempt by Sentinel.
It's a good defensive setup right now by Sentinel.
Here's Johnson trying to scramble, and Ethan Jones is there to make the stop.
Huge tackle from behind. I love the man-to-man in that defensive setup that Sentinel had going. It was just a simple QB draw. Now you're left with kind of a decision here. I don't think you can try the field goal. It's just way too far.
All either team has to lose tonight is the game. I mean, Sentinel, playoff seeding maybe, but they're in regardless.
Yeah.
But that's no reason to get complacent. Not saying they have. Flathead has just flat out played some great inspired football out here tonight to claw back to a 10-10 tie.
But Sentinel, if they lose this game, they're going to have to play Billings Sr. first. And talking to Dane Oliver, he's like, I don't want to play the number 1 seed.
Well, who does?
This is who does. But you know, if you can improve your seeding, Sentinel has a lot to play for in this game tonight. And if they lose this game, it would be quite a shock, I think, just considering where they've been going and playing a team that I believe that they're better than.
Well, record-wise they are. They lost to Senior. They lost to Big Sky. Lost to Glacier by 1 in overtime in a wild shootout in Washington Grizzly Stadium, and then a loss to West. Those are some of the top teams in the state. Big Sky, of course, was a Missoula City championship game, so a rivalry game, maybe a little bit of an outlier there. But Billings Senior has already clinched that number 1 overall seed in the playoff picture. Kalispell Glacier was up 27-0 at half over Missoula Big Sky, and then Billings West is also 8-1. Both of those teams are 8-1. And then Bozeman's at 7-2. They've all clinched hosting a playoff game. It's just a matter of who they're hosting. And then you got Helena, Big Sky, Sentinel, and Helena Capital trying to jockey for position, see where each one ends up. Bridger Johnson with an empty backfield on 4th down. They're going for it. Ethan Jones sandwiches him. Ezra Wida was there as well. He comes out with the ball, but Sentinel's going to get it anyway.
Big stop by the Spartans D, getting it done on 4th down. Get the ball back on your own 36-yard line. The Flathead offense hasn't been able to muster much, but they did get the tying field goal last drive, and now the Spartans have the ball on their own 36.
7:33 to go in regulation. We're tied at 10. It was 10-0 at one point. Now it's 10-10. Sentinel trying to get the lead back. Here's Crawford, and he got strung out to the far side there, and he's tackled on the far hash after picking up 2 yards. 2nd down and 8.
Gain of 2. Clock continuing to move here.
which is fine as long as you go down and get some points. Handoff. Crawford trying to run the clock and run it down into Flathead territory.
Big run by Crawford. Downhill. Nice pickup on that play.
14-yard gain, a first down for Sentinel. We roll inside 7 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Tie game. Timeout, Sentinel. A little bit of frustration with 6:45 to go in the fourth quarter. 10-10, Sentinel versus Flathead. This is Spartan Live football on MCAT. Missoula County Stadium. Sentinels Mitch Roberts throws over to the far side. Elias DeWaters is dragged out of bounds, but he picked up a pretty decent chunk yardage. Kempson cross alongside Cole Johnson in a 10-10 ball game between the Flathead Braves and the Sentinel Spartans.
Yeah, this has been a terrific football game tonight. Both teams really laying it out there, all out on the field, and we'll see what happens as we're getting down under 6 minutes to play.
Both defenses have been good, if not great, all night long. Flathead's offense has gutted out a 10-10 tie after a 10-0 Sentinel start to this game and some physicality after the play, but Connor Crawford was able to pick up 3 yards and a Sentinel first down.
Yeah, Cade White in on that play. But Sentinel moving the football now, finally starting to move it. Kalispell, Flathead, perhaps maybe getting a little bit tired out there.
Mitch Roberts, Connor Crawford, 2 seniors. Ethan Jones, another senior in motion. A throw over to the junior, Nick Germer, with a decent block out there, and he's slipping through tackles, tight-roping the sideline inside the 20-yard line.
Kalispell, Flathead able to push him out, but tight-roping the sideline he was. And picking up huge yardage as the Spartans look to try to put one in the end zone.
First down, 17-yard line. 10-10, clock is stopped at 5:41 to go in regulation. Pump fake, looking for a wheel route off the fake screen, and now Roberts is gonna tuck it. But Flathead has done a good job specifically containing Roberts much of the night. Daniel Long was in there on that defensive tackle.
Yeah, good play by Daniel Long and good coverage downfield. Second down.
Second down and 10. Handoff, Crawford. No space.
And it was Jonas Nyman that had him by the leg. Wasn't going to let him go anywhere. Third down.
He led the charge. At the bottom of the pile was Michael Lee for Flathead. We're inside 5 minutes to go in regulation time.
Kicking a field goal is not the ideal situation here, considering the last one is blocked. So we'll see if they can get the 8 yards they need.
Crawford somehow got 2 yards out of that. It'll be third down and 8 from the 15-yard line. Play action. Roberts out in the flat. Crawford was the intended receiver, but he just kind of threw it to the turf. Fourth down and 8. Is this 4-down territory?
I don't think so. I think you have to try and kick a field goal. You have to try it. Your chances are just better.
Sentinel takes their final timeout to talk it over. I believe that's their final timeout with 4:28 to go in a 10-10 ball game. Kalispell Flathead clawed their way back to a 10-10 tie after a 10-0 lead for the Spartans after just 2 offensive possessions, but a defensive back-and-forth struggle where there weren't a lot of points scored for a long time. A touchdown right before the half on a trick play by Flathead, and then they were able to block Sentinel's last field goal. And then they got a field goal of their own. Here we are, 10-10.
Yeah, the touchdown at the end of the first half is enormous right now, especially considering it was on 4th down and 1. Had a decision to make there. Actually, it was on 3rd down, but they may not have had any time to get any points out of that drive if they don't convert that touchdown toss. Crazy things have happened. Helena Capital was knotted in a tie against Butte at halftime, 21-21. So, sometimes things just kind of turn out crazy at times.
And like you said, for a lot of these seniors, especially the ones that aren't making the playoffs, this is the last time that they'll be playing high school football. So they're going to lay it all out on the line.
Little surprised they're going for it.
4th down and 8. Roberts is pressured and sacked. He had a couple seconds there, but was swallowed up by Andrew Siderius.
Yeah, that'll be a question I'll ask Dane Oliver after the game. We'll see what he was thinking. Now, I don't know, I'm not completely against the idea. I just felt like, hey, 32-yard field goal, maybe try a quick snap and a kick. I don't know, but he didn't feel like it was the best play to make in that circumstance.
Well, they had a 4th down and a goal from the 1, maybe the 2-yard line. In the first half, they elected to take the points, and then they had a field goal blocked earlier in the second half. And after a defensive stand in the red zone, Bridger Johnson throws into the flat for Skromovsky, excuse me. And he gets 10 yards and a Flathead first down with 4:13 to go.
Probably a good chance that this game is going to go into overtime the way things have been going right now. But we'll see if Flathead can pick up some first downs here. They have had a tough time.
Sentinel's defense has to get this stop. Sentinel jumped, but they did not violate the neutral zone. But a good idea there to go with the hard count by Bridger Johnson. Now he'll take the snap and he'll roll to the far side. Under pressure, throws, and he got it to his man, John Hinchy, on the far side.
Yeah, good play by Hinchy. We haven't seen much of him today, but a nice little out pattern to the far side of the field and able to pick up a good 6-7 yards. Call it 6 on first down.
2nd down and 4. Handoff, Adolph, near side. And he is swallowed up. Leading the charge was Tristan Clark.
Tristan Clark getting in on the tackle there, a very short gain. Maybe a gain of 1, if any. 3rd down and 3.
3rd down and 3. Inside, just rolled inside, 3 minutes to go after that snap. Here in the 4th quarter. Tie ball game, 10-10. Kempson cross, Cole Johnson. Johnson trying to escape out to the far side. Still looking for someone to throw it to. Tipped. Skromovsky makes the catch right at the sticks.
All you needed was 3 yards, and the play kind of broke down. Looked like Skromovsky wasn't going to be open at all. Play kind of broke down. And
it really depends on the spot. Tristan Clark with a great play there.
Didn't get it. But they only
4th
need a
down and
millimeter.
inches.
You got to go for it.
Indeed.
Or you punt it back and
trust your defense, which has held Sentinel out of out of the end zone or out of, until moments ago, the red zone for most. Well, they've held them off the scoreboard. They had the blocked field goal, and then they had the red zone stand, turnover on downs on that 4th and 8 to end the last Sentinel drive. But, yeah, Flathead's defense has done a great job with 1:36 now to go, and it's still tied 10-10.
Yeah, they're definitely hanging tough. It's been impressive as Flathead has pitched a shutout here in the second half after giving up 10 points in the first half.
Both teams here late in this game scratching and clawing and trying to get some advantage. 4th down and inches coming up for Flathead. And I don't see a punter. Well, their punter actually is Wesley Palmer, and he plays some offensive line, but they're not going to punt it. It's 4th down. And they'll turn around and hand it off. Second effort, he didn't get it.
They did not get it on 4th and a foot. They did not get it. Wow.
Instead of a quarterback sneak with Bridger Johnson, they just elected to turn around, hand it off to Skramovsky. And Sentinel got just enough penetration to stand him up. And then on the second effort, they were able to swarm to the football and set the offense up with 1:31 to go and give them an opportunity to go down and win this game.
Yeah, they just needed 4th and just a smidge, and they did not get it. A great job by the Spartan D-line of clogging the middle of that hole, and nowhere to go on that play whatsoever.
Roberts, empty backfield after Messer motions out. Quarterback draw, trying to get his feet involved. He's breaking tackles, and he's still running. He's got to block up the far sideline. Flag is down. This may come back. For now, it's touchdown Sentinel.
May have been an illegal block somewhere. Oh, my gosh.
Penalties have killed both teams tonight.
At the opportune times, yeah. It's usually a 3rd down play or a big play.
Holding on back. Sentinel.
Wow.
Flathead fans that traveled to support their Braves are getting excited about that. Looked like Mitch Roberts had finally found some daylight. And
there's a penalty.
They'll march it off. Roberts talking to the ref, and they march it off spot of the foul, so it'll be 1st down again, but it'll be 1st down and 12 with 1:19 left in regulation. Roberts throws far side and out of bounds.
Makes it 2nd and 2 when you got 1 minute and 13 seconds.
Ty Peterson with his first catch of the night. 1:13 to go. Clock is stopped after he went out of bounds. Gain of 9, 2nd down and 3. Roberts rolling near side, pressured and almost sacked.
Baseman.
Flag came down. The first one there was Mason Chapman. See what the flag is.
That might be face mask.
It very well could be. Came down in an area. Indeed it was.
I grabbed his face mask on the sack. Wow.
And so
Huge
they'll
break.
march it all the way back down inside the 30-yard line of Flathead to the 28, and it's 1st down Sentinel.
Wow. They had him for a sack, big loss, and the hand went right across the face mask and caught him. And it's a big 15-yard penalty.
That's been our second half, ladies and gentlemen. That's been most of the game. Penalties and big defensive plays. And a swing pass out to the far side with blockers in front of him. Crawford with 1st down yardage down to the 17-yard line. An 11-yard gain out of bounds with 51 seconds. Good play design, good play call on the screen.
Yeah, found Crawford out in the left flat there, got some room around the left side and picked up about 12 yards. And now the Spartans are really in business. They got it down near the 15-yard line.
Mitch Roberts, a throwback to the far side. Germer trying to break tackles. And he got 4 or 5 yards out of it. Clock will roll inside 40 seconds.
Sentinel really in no hurry here. Have some timeouts to use.
I don't know what they do. And flag down. Play is blown dead with 24 seconds to go.
You know, I don't know how many timeouts they've used yet. I guess I figured they had at least one. But I didn't know for sure.
False start on Sentinel. We'll back them up. Roberts. That's not Crawford flanking him. And flags come in again.
Another false start. What is going on? Man, backing up.
That was Caden Messer to Roberts' left. And another false start will back it all the way back to 2nd down and 16. 24 seconds to go.
Yeah, Sentinel's just shooting themselves in the foot right now. They can't have this.
They're at the 23-yard line. Roberts throws middle, caught! Wow. Not a first down, but it is to the 10-yard line.
They don't have any timeouts left.
They need to clock it.
Maybe they do have
Well, they do have one timeout.
I figured they had one.
Well, we've been confused on the timeout deal. Ever since
Yeah.
one ref pointed one way and the other pointed the other way, we've been confused on the timeout situation. But 11 seconds to go.
It's not even on our scoreboard that we have.
It's actually 15 seconds. The referee just requested that they put 15 seconds back on the clock, so they did have that one timeout, and they just burned it. Tied at 10, an opportunity to win it in regulation.
Yeah, the Spartans able to get this ball down inside the 10. On 3rd down and 3. 15 seconds left.
Jake Peterson was on the receiving end of that last Sentinel pass to put them in position.
This is the game, Kempson, right here.
For a 27-yard field goal.
Another timeout. I didn't know one team could call a timeout and then you could have another timeout.
Well, I think one team can call a timeout, then another can call it, but you can't call 2 timeouts in a row. Drew Gibbs found that out the hard way about a decade ago.
Yeah, there's a penalty. Which we've seen penalties in this game.
Oh, yeah. We've seen several of those. But credit both teams. The penalties aside, or even keeping the penalties in, both teams have been extremely resilient tonight.
Yeah, they have. They've been playing spectacular on the defensive side of the ball. Kalispell Flathead just completely different team in the second half, really, with pitching a shutout. They just seem to be playing harder in the second half. I don't know, again, what was said, but, man, they played great in this game. But this is 15 seconds to go. Well, now it looks like they're going to run maybe a play and then kick.
Well, they got 15 seconds.
Might as well
so as
try
long as they don't take a sack, it's 3rd down. Throw, end zone, and it's pretty safe. The receiver didn't get his head turned, but neither did the defensive back, and so now it'll be 4th down.
Could be overtime.
Ten seconds to go. Sentinel started this game, went up 10-0 after 2 offensive possessions. Flathead finally clawed their way back to a 10-10 tie. They blocked Spencer Peppinger's last field goal. Now it's a 27-yard field goal left hash. This one's up.
No good.
No good.
Wow.
Wide right. 4 seconds to go in regulation, and we might be headed for overtime.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, we'll be heading for overtime. Wow. I can't believe he pushed it left. Oh, man. Well, it was worth a shot. Spencer Peppinger got a little ways to go before he can catch up to where his older brother's at, but he's a freshman.
Well, his older brother's in college.
Yeah.
College freshman with Montana State. The starting kicker, Gabe Peppinger, all-state kicker last year for Sentinel. Spencer Peppinger's a sophomore. Caden Messer has handled some of the kicking duties as well for this Sentinel football team. But credit the Flathead Braves. They got immense pressure on that kick and may have even tipped it. Bridger Johnson will take a kneel. And we are headed to overtime for the second time this season on Spartan Live Football on MCAT. Kempson crossed alongside Cole Johnson. Last time it was in Glacier, or it was against Glacier in Washington Grizzly Stadium, and there were a lot more points in that game.
There were. It was 63-62. There were almost 100 points scored more. You can imagine that. 95 to be exact. Right now it's 10-10 in this game, so, man, low-scoring game in overtime. It was a high-scoring game. Sentinel 1-1 in overtime games this year. They won on a game-winning overtime throw against Great Falls.
Yeah, went for a touchdown and then went for the win on the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Ethan Jones from Mitch Roberts was successful twice for the touchdown and then the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
That's their latest overtime adventure.
And overtime rules, you get the ball on the 10-yard line, and you kind of go back and forth, and then, of course, you have to go for 2, making it a little bit extra there just because the game has to get won or lost at some point. So the rule is you got to go for 2.
Yeah, it's kind of like backyard football. You get 4 downs to clear the field, and the field is 10 yards between you and Pater. Flathead has been riding some good energy all night long, and their fans are right in front of us here in the booth, and
I think they believe that they can win this game tonight. They
and
really
why shouldn't they?
Yeah, why shouldn't they? Of course. And it seems like on the Sentinel side, you see less energy on their side. You don't see as much as Flathead at this point.
Captains will go out for the second coin toss of the night. Sentinel deferred on the last one, and they might do so again if they win it. Because it's like college overtime, but you start on the 10, and you got to score to keep the game going, or stop your opponent from scoring to keep the game going.
Fresno State up 14-0 on Air Force right now.
Well, that makes me happy.
That makes you happy. If you're a Cubs fan, right now it's the bottom of the 9th. Your team is down 1-0 in the bottom of the 9th in Wrigley Field. The first World Series game in Wrigley Field in 71 years.
You talk about energy.
There's got to be a lot.
There's got to be a lot of energy in that building.
I didn't pay $50,000 for a ticket. I'm sorry. So I wasn't at the game
I
tonight.
wouldn't, so there's that.
Yeah. See, a lot of fans actually at the Cubs game were reluctant to even sell their tickets at all because it's one of those situations where they may never. It's the very first time. It's been so long since ever being able to witness a World Series game. Right. 71 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a scoreless tie for most of that ball game. We got a 10-10 tie here, and gave you the out-of-town scoreboard at halftime. And if some of these scores hold true, then depending on the result of this game, maybe Sentinel does improve its playoff seeding.
Yeah, they win this game. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine they're definitely going to be at least the 6th seed at the end of the day. Again, I'm not exactly sure. But if they lose tonight and Missoula Big Sky, well, they're losing right now. But if they lose tonight, Sentinel, and Helena Capital loses, then it looks like it could, or wins, then it's going to be the 8th seed, for Missoula Sentinel.
If Sentinel loses, they're doomed to the 8th seed,
they
basically,
really are,
because even if Big Sky is sitting there at 5-5 after a loss to Kalispell Glacier, they were down 27-0 at halftime. Then Capital, if they are able to beat Butte, which they should, and
Of course, we say they should.
well, they should.
They definitely
Billings
should.
West, if Billings West is able to beat Helena as well, then you have the head-to-head. Sentinel wins that over Helena. So if they're able to win, they move to 6-4, and so in theory that would mean they're the 5 seed, and they play Bozeman probably.
So we could be a 5 seed. They could be a 5 seed, and they could be down to an 8 seed overnight.
And much of it depends on the upcoming overtime period. Kempson Cross alongside Cole Johnson, Missoula County Stadium. Senior night, Future Spartans night.
Future Spartans, we saw Elias DeWaters. Future Spartan, that's for sure.
So Sentinel will be on offense, it sounded like. Flathead electing to go on the defensive side, and the attack that we saw in the Glacier game was just a couple plays, and it was all Mitch Roberts keepers. And then Roberts actually had a keeper to lead off overtime at Great Falls as well, but then he threw it to Ethan Jones for a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion.
And those plays, we got to look back at those plays. Those were big plays, man. I mean, anytime you're on the road and you're going to throw a jump pass, you only get one crack at it on a 2-point conversion, so you better catch it. And sure enough, Ethan Jones was able to come down with it, and a huge win at this juncture. But this right here is a huge win if Sentinel can pull it out.
Sentinel will start. Mitch Roberts in the shotgun. Fake handoff over the middle, incomplete for Germer. Flag comes down.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Vasquez grabbed him on the way over. Maybe he had to commit that penalty, otherwise he would have been open. But, yeah, that was a pretty easy call to make in the back of the end zone.
It's kind of part of the strategy of going on defense first, is then you know what you need to do. Half the distance to the goal, so it'll
Bump it up 5.
Remain first down at the 5. Sentinel started out. Crawford, 3-yard touchdown run. Peppinger field goal later in the first half made it 10-0. And then Flathead was able to block a field goal and then get a field goal of their own. And then, well, actually they scored a touchdown at the end of the first half. Here is Mitch Roberts on a quarterback keeper. 5-yard touchdown to put Sentinel up 16-10.
Yeah, the penalty hurt a little bit. Move the ball up 5 yards, and you get a few downs to play with. A quarterback keeper, Mitch Roberts, in for a touchdown. So Roberts getting in the end zone. Connor Crawford has scored in this game as well, but it makes it a 16-10 ball game, at least
Caden
right now.
Messer's extra point is good. 17-10 at the conclusion of Sentinel's possession in overtime. Now the ball goes over to Flathead, and they have to score a touchdown.
Yeah, they have to score a touchdown, so they get 4 downs no matter what to do it. And then they get that choice whether to kick the extra point or go for 2, whatever they want to do. So, yeah, defensive battle down to the very end. And got to give these teams a lot of credit. Last game of the season, just really leaving it all out there on the field tonight.
So, yeah, Sentinel started out a big sack, a 43-yard pass to Germer. Crawford with a rushing touchdown. And then Peppinger had his field goal, a double reverse touchdown pass to Bridger Johnson for Flathead, and then they got a field goal here in the second half. And now they're looking for a touchdown. Johnson on the rollout, play action, throws, picked off, intercepted.
That is it.
And that's it. It's over.
That throw had no chance. There was nobody open. No one was open. They had maybe one guy out on the far sideline in the end zone that could have been, but no one was there. No one, everyone, all the Spartans were all to that one side.
and he kind of just threw it out there in no man's land. There was no receiver in the area at all.
17-10 will be the final. Missoula Sentinel Spartans on senior night finally get the win over the Flathead Braves. Senior night, future Spartans night, and I believe it was Brandon Morley who made the pick, but his entire team mobbed him in celebration just moments after. But at any rate, it's 17-10 the final. Sentinel grinds out a victory, which we kind of expected them to get, but Flathead, give them credit, showed up tonight.
Oh, Flathead definitely showed up in this game. The defense played great. I think that was Sentinel's first forced turnover of the game as well.
Besides the one where it was, Morley had the interception.
Oh, there was
in
the
the
tip
first
throw.
half.
That's right. You got you got 2 picks altogether.
Mm-hmm.
What a game this was. This was pretty epic. A defensive battle all the way to the end. This is a huge win for the Spartans, though. Seriously, can catapult them potentially up into that 5 seed. They're not going to have to play. They don't have to play Billings Senior first. So we'll see where things stand on Monday when we're on MCAT television. You can catch us at 8:30 a.m. on MCAT when we do our sports updates. So please tune in for that, and we'll see where the playoff seedings lie. But Sentinel grinded this one out. I thought Kalispell Flathead had all the momentum in the second half, but they hung on by the skin of their teeth. Sentinel did. 17-10, the final score.
Special thanks to Josh Cook, Neil Wells, Graham Winger, and Scott Ranf, the Spartan Live on MCAT crew. Cole Johnson, I'm Kempson Cross, and we'll do our best in the post-game show we're about to tape, which will be available on demand in the YouTube version of this game once that's uploaded. But yeah, we thank everyone who had a part in making all of these games happen, and we thank you for joining us for this regular season finale. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. For the Spartan Live on MCAT crew, I'm Kempson Cross. Y'all come back. Spartans win 17-10 in overtime tonight. Spartans quarterback Mitch Roberts here. I'm Kempson Cross. And Mitch, take me through your thought process as the game progressed.
Oh, it was a tough game. Flathead's a really tough team. They played really good. It was their last game of the season, so we knew they were going to come out hard. And defense played a great game, and we struggled a little bit offensively, but we came out on top at the end. So,
what was it like to get that win on senior night, even though you already clinched the playoffs and all that? How did that feel to win with your brothers for I guess the last time on your home field?
Oh, it was awesome. Going out on a bang on our home field feels great. We wanted it going in badly, so glad we got it.
How does it carry over? How do you feel going forward as far as the win tonight and then going forward, like whoever you play? We're not sure yet, but what are your thoughts as far as getting on to next week?
Yeah, we know we're going to be on the road, so we got to come in prepared mentally and physically, get healed up a little bit, and go out and compete against whoever we play. Clean up some things offensively, and hopefully defense plays a great game like that again, and we can put some points on the board for them. So,
how are you feeling? You feeling good? You feeling healthy?
Yeah, a little bit. I rolled my ankle in Billings West 2 weeks ago, and then just kind of was nagging me a little bit, and then I rolled it out there a little bit. But it's feeling better. It's feeling better, and I'm going to be healthy going into the playoffs. So,
anything else you want to share?
Nope. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot for joining us. Once again, I'm Kempson Cross. Thanks a lot for Mitch Roberts for joining us. For Spartan Live Football on MCAT, we'll have Cole Johnson on with his thoughts in just a moment.
Thank you.
Spartan Live Football on MCAT. The Missoula Sentinel Spartans 17, the Kalispell Flathead Braves 10. Final in overtime. Mitch Roberts with a quarterback keeper to score the winning touchdown. Cole, your initial thoughts on this game?
Well, Kalispell Flathead played terrific in the second half. They really did. I thought their defense was really energized. They really came after Mitch Roberts there and got some big sacks, got a couple recoveries on some fumbles, really laid it out all on the field tonight. I mean, what can you say? They pulled out all the stops, and they almost pulled this game out. In overtime, we kind of had an ill-advised interception. It was kind of weird at the end with Johnson throwing the pick, but at the end of the day, Sentinel survived this game. They're going to the playoffs already, but they're going to have a better seed. in those playoffs, hopefully maybe play Bozeman or potentially Glacier. I mean, I was talking to Mitch Roberts before the interview, and he said the Glacier matchup might be a good matchup for them in terms of just scoring points and opportunities. So we'll see where the seeding lies on Monday. Sentinel hung in there the whole time, played well, started running the ball a little bit better in the second half, and finally got it kick-started with Crawford. DeWaters continues to really make plays, keeping the game steady, keeping the offense moving. Had a big fumble there in the second half. But overall, the team got the W, and that's really, at the end of the day, all that matters.
Right, Sentinel moves to 6-4. Flathead finishes the season 3-7. Ezra White had a sack to stop Flathead's initial drive, and then a 43-yard pass to Germer from Roberts set the tone early on. Crawford finished that drive off with a 3-yard rushing touchdown to put Sentinel up 7-0 at the time. Brandon Morley with an interception on the next Flathead offensive snap. Bridger Johnson had a man in his face, and Morley was able to make the pick. Peppinger was able to convert the field goal after Flathead made a good stand defensively. That made it 10-0, and then Vasquez had an interception. A double reverse touchdown pass back to quarterback Bridger Johnson made it 10-7 just before the half. All the momentum was on Flathead's side, but they still couldn't get the lead all night. Actually, they blocked the field goal in the third quarter by Sentinel, and then DeWaters muffed the punt at the end of the third quarter, and then Flathead still was eventually able to get points on the board and make it 10-10, and they were able to keep Sentinel out of the end zone for most of this game, actually, and then finally forced overtime. Sentinel able to strike first, and then, like you said, make that key interception at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Kalispell Flathead, for the most part, offensively, they're just not where they need to be. It's hard because they just don't have the wide receivers and the athletes, and especially the running back tandem. It just hasn't been consistent for them all year long. They played a couple games close. They played Helena Capital pretty close, but it was 30-0 at the time, and they came back to make it 30-20. But at the end of the day, Kalispell Flathead really doesn't have enough offensive consistency to really make a push at this time. But maybe next year for them, they have the ability to make plays on defense. I really believe that. They're going to be losing their star linebacker to graduation, but look for this team to make some noise next year. But Sentinel, give them credit where credit is due. They've had a great year. It's Dane Oliver's 5th season. He ended his 5th year here. Still learning, still growing as a coach. One of the things that he talked about learning in his coaching philosophy was, hey, I let the kids make their own mistakes and learn from their mistakes. That's the only way you really ever learn, is through the mistakes that you've made. And he's done a nice job of really staying true to that. He felt like early on when he was first coaching this team that he was more emotional, but this time he lets the kids just make their own mistakes and, again, learn the hard way. And I feel like the team's responded. They're going to get a decent seed in the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. Crazier things have happened. You got to be ready to play. I think that he will have his group ready to play and maybe pull off an upset. Who knows?
Out-of-town scoreboard, Billings Senior a 14-0 forfeit. They already clinched the #1 seed. That's pretty much all that's certain for seedings, at least that we know of. A forfeit win over Missoula Hellgate there. Missoula Big Sky went on the road to Kalispell Glacier, and the Wolfpack were all over them all night long. 47-7 the final in that game. Billings West, an upset loss at Helena, 28-21. Bozeman 38-16 winners at Skyview. Capital was finally able to beat Butte 35-28, and then CMR and Great Falls High, the Bison, win that crosstown rivalry matchup emphatically 34-6. That's your Class AA Montana High School football scoreboard, the out-of-town scoreboard. And final tonight on Spartan Live, 17-10 in favor of the Missoula Sentinel Spartans over the Flathead Braves. We'll tell you more about what all that means, all those results that we just threw at you, all those numbers on Monday morning on Wake Up Missoula. We hope you'll tune in then. We hope you had as much fun as we did once again. Kempson Cross for Cole Johnson and the entire Spartan Live football on MCAT crew. We thank you for watching. Y'all come back.